As I was saying before I so rudely interrupted myself through technical difficulties, the constant drip of water does trap the silica dust pretty adequately. Some would say, well, you should wear a mask. I've never seen anyone wear a mask because probably 99% of the silica dust from the quartz is getting trapped in water and getting whisked away. That said, yet another thing one might take issue with. A couple other pieces of equipment. This is a pair of jeweler's, I don't know, what would you call this? A jeweler's glass that you can put on your head, and so flip it up or down to get some magnification. Inside my desk, we will find, in my characteristic disorganized fashion, a number of other pieces of equipment. It's amazing how nickeled and dimed you're going to feel if you get into this stuff, if you're not already. Some of this stuff I had already, like a couple sets of Allen wrenches, all right, whatever. But this is a 45-degree angle adapter, which you need generally to make the table, because this kind of grind, this kind of wheel or faceting machine does not like to grind things on a 90-degree angle. As you can see, it's not going to work. So you need to, and you'll see better if you don't know what I'm talking about. This is the quill here, and this gem's going to be sticking out there. You can't get it at a 90-degree angle. So we're going to have to use this, and you know, I mean, this costs $30, $40, and it's not quite the right kind. It's not the kind from the factory, or from the, it's not a factory, from the folks that make this machine. I think theirs is more like $70, $80, something like that. But I put a little slip of paper in there, and it fits just fine. It seems to work. That's the kind of kludgery that I'm into until I want to invest in a couple more parts. Pair of pliers, always very useful. JB Weld, not the greatest epoxy for dopping because it is opaque. That said, you know, I've used it. It's not going to kill you to use opaque epoxy for dopping, but I'm told that there are a lot of advantages, especially as you get to smaller stones, to use transparent epoxy. So I've ordered some. That's not an expensive item. Super glue can be very useful in the initial dopping on the flat dop. When you dop the part that's going to be the table onto this. For those of you who don't know what a dop is, somehow the dop goes into the quill of the machine here, and then we'll tighten it up so that it can't rotate. Can't rotate along this axis this way. We don't want that. We want to control that rotation. The gem has to be attached to something, and the gem can also easily break. So the best way turns out, apparently, to have a dop like this and to glue it in some way. I have the traditional wax, have some of the traditional wax sticks here for when I'm ready to start experimenting with that, which gets combined with these shellac sticks that I ordered from the Graves company. And some people work with that, some people work with epoxy, some people work with super glue, and some people work with combinations of these. There's no perfect way to do it. As some authors, like the guy I'm reading right now, will tell you, all dopping basically sucks. It's just sort of a necessary evil of this. If you're working with an emerald cut, when you have finished the pavilion, which is the bottom of the gem, you glue it into one of these dops so you can work with the top and form the crown. I'll be doing a round cut, so I'll be fitting it into something that looks more like this. So the pavilion will go in there, the pointy part of the gem with the culet at the bottom, and so that I can work on the crown on the top there. Sorry about the poor focus there on the autofocus. And that's about it. You know, I keep a few other things here, little plastic bags that pieces of rough that I bought came in because they can come in handy. This is a key. Any part you order has been machine made, machine tooled. So this cost me $70, this little piece of metal. This is the key that fits into the quill here in case I want to remove the chuck, which there's reasons why you might. A couple of other, oh well, you know, you might want to have a loop around for greater magnification, close detail. You might want to have containers like this for putting completed gems in. Sharpie pen, jackknife, your basic Swiss Army knife. These are all very useful things to have around. And thought I had something else to say. Oh yeah, so just a little bit more on the anatomy of this machine. This part here is called the index. I'm working with a kind of primitive index, which is 64, which is to say, yes, Dora, I hear you. My cat's very demanding. I'll let you out in a second. It divides the circle, 360 degrees of the circle divides into 64 equal parts, and we'll see later why that matters.